What you're about to hear is a telephone conversation between Sarah Hodges, Industry Marketing Manager for Building Engineering at Autodesk, and Raj Setty and Alonso Aguayo of Setty Associates.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Sarah Hodges. I'm an Industry Marketing Manager here at Autodesk, and I'm joined today by Raj and Alonso of Setty Associates. And we're going to be discussing a couple different things around building information modeling and their use of some of our tools, including Revit MEP. So Raj and Alonso, could I ask you each just to introduce yourself and give us a little bit of background on your company? Raj?
I'm Raj Setty, Principal of Setty Associates International. We're a local DC-based firm specializing in MEP, construction management, and commissioning. Alonso?
My name is Alonso Aguayo. I am a mechanical designer for Setty Associates. We are introducing the building information modeling approach, and I'm the one in charge of implementing that in the company.
So you mentioned that you're currently in the process of implementing a building information modeling approach. Could you share a little bit around the types of solutions that you're currently using in your workflow?
What we typically use here is AutoCAD 2009 and 2010, I believe, and also Revit MEP. And between those two programs, we're producing a whole variety of hybrid drawings, and where we combine both AutoCAD and also Revit to give the client the best product possible. And with that, over time, I think we'll start to phase completely into the Revit MEP product line.
Could you discuss a recent project that you're working on that's incorporated building information modeling approach with Revit MEP?
I would like to. The project that we're looking at currently is a new fire station in the District of Columbia. And on this fire station, we are working in conjunction with an architect out of New York, and we're doing the entire building in Revit. With the MEP, we're trying to incorporate all of the IES load calculation software, looking at some of the Green Building Studio add-on softwares that you have, and we're seeing how that all is working out. And what we found is that there's quite a bit of content that we're creating to get to the point where we're able to do a 100% Revit MEP job. And so a lot of our efforts over the last 6 months in this design phase have been creating content and helping to augment what's out of the box for Revit. I think at this point we're pretty far along in creating the content, and that's helped us streamline a lot of our processes. It has taken us longer, but we're doing a few things in parallel. We're doing some of the drawings that we have to get in for permit in AutoCAD, yet at the same time we're using this as a good tool. It's about a 26,000 square foot new fire station with 3 bays, so there's a little bit of everything in it.
And have you been using the building information modeling process on this project to better collaborate with perhaps your architectural counterparts or the structural engineers who are also working on this project?
That is one of the things that has been the most exciting for us, is we pull up the model and all of us sit there, and instead of trying to go through our own drawings one by one and saying, okay, what do you guys see in this room, what do you see in this space, we're just pulling it up in the model, and we're doing collision checks, but also trying to fulfill the architect's representation of that space. They often have different views, and they have an idea of what they want a certain room or building to look like, and we're able to go ahead and meet their needs. You know, the last one we looked at, they had a 2-story atrium in a place that we wouldn't have expected to see it, and we did have some ductwork running through there, and it was quickly found out in the model when we were doing this whole team coordination that, hey, we don't want a duct going through this space. And we said, that's great. You know, it's all about the problems, where you find them in the timeline of the construction process. And as we're finding them earlier, it's helping the entire process go smoother. And we're hoping once this thing goes to construction that a lot of these coordination issues will have been worked out.
Did this project also incorporate integrated project delivery?
At this point, it has a portion of it. I will say it will. Integrated project delivery, they're looking at turning this over to a contractor and turning the model over to that contractor. Up to this point, it's been the traditional A&E design team. And once they turn the model over to the contractor, it will move into the IPD delivery format. And then we're going to see how that works, and hopefully our model is pretty accurate in giving the contractor the takeoffs. And we've done another project in IPD, a large high school, And that one has gone fairly well. We've had very good, accurate estimates and takeoffs, but I think this fire station will be much more useful for the contractor. And if he can apply, I think you have a program, Navisworks, and he's going to try to use that to do his scheduling and build this thing in 4D and see how it's going to be built. And that will be very impressive for the fire department to go ahead and see how their new station is going to be built.
It's fantastic. And you mentioned earlier that some of the design tools that you're using in conjunction with Revit MEP include Autodesk Green Building Studio. So my question to you would actually be, are you aggressively going after projects that have a sustainable design component to them, or are you seeing that you're becoming more involved in energy or green retrofitting projects?
Whether the project is required to be LEED or to have a sustainable component, that is just one of our company philosophies. In our view, the definition of a good engineer is one who executes his design with systems and an overall holistic approach to the building where it does consume less energy. So we do actively seek clients and architects who are on the same, philosophy as far as green building, and we try to work with them early on, and that is something that's important. And I think the mechanical engineers at this point are starting to take a stronger role and also are being consulted more. We have a good idea of how, when you go ahead and site the building, what are the repercussions for the sun hitting different faces, and how will the building systems react based on that? Where do we increase the insulation? Where do we increase the glazing? How can we change the siding of the building or adjust the systems to make sure that the building will consume consume less energy over time? And that is the Green Building Studio is going to help us accomplish that. Right now we do use a parallel program, but we are trying to shift fully into the Green Building Studio module, and I think over time we'll be able to do that. All the tools are there. Now it's just getting the content and getting the numbers to where we're comfortable. That's why we run everything in parallel at this point.
Excellent. Do you have any final closing comments that you'd like to share with us, perhaps around other projects that you've worked on that have incorporated BIM, or projections for the future and ways in which you're looking to engage yourselves on new or existing projects?
Right now, I think the large trend for the next few years is just for content creation. There's a lot of effort that's going in to create the content from different vendors, from lighting manufacturers to mechanical to plumbing manufacturers. And once a lot of this content gets programmed and available and out to the public, then that's when I think the Revit will really take off. I don't see it going away anymore. It has to be done in 3D just to keep the buildings are getting more complicated, the systems are getting more complicated, and because of all of the full integration, the Revit has been able to bring the entire design team closer. Now, the hardware requirements are killer for us, but that's something we just have to work out, and hopefully our business model can support all of these high-end computers, these nice gaming machines that we're getting now. So,
Absolutely.
But it's fun. It's fun watching flying through these buildings. I must admit, there's quite fulfilling to see some of these buildings now.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and we enjoyed hearing about your project. So thank you to you both.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
For more about Setty Associates, visit www.setty.com. And for everything about Revit MEP, visit www.autodesk.com/Revit MEP.